Can you remember a time when someone yelled at you or accused you of doing something you didn't do? How did you feel? Did you get angry? Did the other person become the enemy? Did getting mad at them make you feel better? How long after the encounter did you still think about it? How could we have handled the situation differently? Jesus teaches us that we are to love our enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. This teaching is very hard. It goes against everything our society tells us about how we should act. We hear, yeah, but he's our enemy. It's him or us. How can we just take it? How about if he abuses our love for him, or if he does not accept it? What shall we do? Are we just going to let him do what he wants? This enemy is like the man that listened to Buddha talk against returning evil for evil. Then he decided to see if Buddha practices what he preaches. The man shouted all kinds of abuses and slanderous words at the great teacher and called him a stupid fool. Buddha listened patiently. When the man ran out of things to say, Buddha said, "My son, if one declines to accept a gift from another, to whom does the gift go?" "Any fool knows that," the man replied scornfully. "The gift goes back to the giver." "My son," said the Buddha, "you have given me such verbal abuse. I decline to accept your offer." The man was dumbfounded. Buddha continued, "My son, one who slanders a virtuous person is like one who spits at the sky. The spittle does not soil the sky. It only comes back to soil the face of the one who spits. Or it is like the one who flings dust into the wind. The dust does not reach its target. It only blows back into the face of the man who throws it." What happens if you decide to love this enemy? What happens if he does not accept your love? Is the love returned to you because you offered it? Jesus takes this even farther when he tells us that we are not supposed to love only those that we know will love us back. We are to love the other without expectation of a reward. Even sinners lend to sinners and give back the same amount. He teaches us that God is kind to the great ungrateful and the wicked. Thank goodness. That gives us hope. For when we are ungrateful and don't think to thank him for all he has given us, he still loves us. The Lord is kind and merciful. Jesus tells us to stop judging others, otherwise we will be judged. And we are to stop condemning, or we will be condemned. If we are willing to forgive, we will be forgiven. When we give, we actually receive in abundance. For the measure with which you measure will in return be measured out to you. So how does all this relate to what is happening in our world now? Recently, Bishop Thomas penned a column called Racism. Here he addresses the disregard for others that has been increasing in our society recently. He says, "When someone is accused of being a racist, it means that person is discriminatory, prejudiced, bigoted against other persons because of race or ethnic origin. We who call ourselves Catholics and profess to be followers of Jesus Christ are called to be the opposite, to respect for each human person as made in the image and likeness of God, no matter the race or ethnic origin." He continues, "I invite you this month to examine your language, your humor, your cultural conditioning, your attitudes towards those of other races and ethnic origins. Is there any evidence, any residue, any trace of prejudice, bigotry, or racial intolerance? And if there is, take the appropriate action to root it out, to excise it from your daily life, perhaps with the help of family members, co-workers, classmates, or trusted friends. In our second reading, St. Paul reminds us that just as we are made in the earthly image of Adam, we are also made in the image of Christ. And in our human weakness, through our baptism, we have received the imprint of Christ, share in his resurrection, and the gift of his life-giving Spirit. He calls us to be what we really are, the image and likeness of God. So, how will we act towards one another? Will we live up to our potential and act and love as God does? Will we be merciful just as your Father is merciful?